Hello everyone, and welcome to another game of World of Warships. Today it's one of my replays, and I'm in the Des Moines, a tier 10 US cruiser. I'm on the map hotspot in a 4-point domination game. So it's a tier 10 battle with 2 subs and a carrier. Which is obviously not what I want. Now the Rooster here is sort of broadside, and I got a Citadel into it, but I'm gonna switch towards that Kagero that has been spotted, and it's back to high explosive. Now that Kagero has ventured way too far, because at this point I could just easily raid her. I presume it has spotted that destroyer, and that's why the Kagero suicidally kept pushing in. By the time the Kagero has realized that this is not a good idea, it's already too late. It's way too deep inside my radar, and it has no chance of escaping. Now, I also have a hydro going, because there's probably some fish on the way, and this should be a very nice start.
Destroyer destroyed.
Destroyer destroyed indeed. Now, meanwhile, we have taken control of the decap, and, well, it's not looking so well at A for some reason. Our ships on the left flank are way too far back. I mean, does it count as the left flank? So our ships are positioned relatively badly, and I don't have high hopes for the other side. So around here, we still have an Izumo, a Wooster, and potentially a Yamato. Looks like the Yamato is still coming this way. And I'm trying to get some shots in here, of course. The Wooster here might just be behind the smoke screen, so we can't really see it. The Izumo, on the other hand, I think it's a bit too close to the island, so I can't properly shoot it. The question is, how do I want to play this fight? I could just try to get some more distance, then I can lob shells, but it also puts me further away from an island and potential cover if needed. Might even, if I go further away, put me into the line of sight of the Yamato. Well, okay, the Yamato isn't that healthy anymore. So I'm contemplating how to do this here. Okay, so the Wooster is retreating. That's also somewhat good news. And I can actually shoot it with armor piercing here a bit, although I think after the first Citadel that Wooster has realized that angling is a good idea. Which is a shame. Now, maybe I can poke around here with my nose and maybe burn the Izumo a bit. I obviously don't wanna YOLO any Izumo. So we'll see. Meanwhile, yeah, our left flank is still as insane as it was before. Our ships are, for some reason, way too far in the bank. Now, speaking about ships in the bank, it would be very helpful if I had like a battleship that could help push like this Izumo, because, I mean, you know, a Wooster, an open water gunboat Wooster isn't the most scary threat. Yes, it's probably gonna set you on fire, but if you were a battleship, you could easily push the Wooster back, and maybe engage the Izumo, and then allow me and the Des Moines to follow. Anyway, I'm getting some damage into the Wooster, and the Wooster is retreating. Now it's time to go forward a bit, because this isn't gonna get any better here. And let's just see if we can't hit the Izumo. Now the good news is, right, I mean, I'm not detected right now, but I'll probably get detected by the Wooster at some point. The good news is, well, the Izumo is trying to blind shoot me, but I have shells that are somewhat high, so I have an easier time lobbing shells over an island than the Izumo does. So even if I would get detected, the Izumo might have trouble. But I'm not getting detected because we have successfully scared the Wooster away. All the time when the Wooster was here open in the 9-10 line, if I had went that aggressive as I'm now, I would have been detected. But thankfully the Wooster retreated enough that can't do the spotting. Now, I have to say, the reason why the Izumo is so passive might be the submarine, because, you know, this Izumo could have just pushed me and would be, in most situations, the right thing to do. I technically have a Soyuz in the Republic behind me, but it remains to be seen if they actually want to participate in this fight. No, I think the most problematic thing is that sub, because it's not an easy thing for the battleship because there is nothing it can do against the sub other than try to build up some distance. And if it pushed in here, the sub would absolutely wreck it. Now I am being raided by the boosters, so you can finally see me. The good news is that we've whittled down the Izumo so much that there isn't much of it left. I feel kind of sorry for this Izumo because he was in a sort of no-win scenario. In the end, he was just farmed without even being able to shoot me back, so maybe he should have tried that push. But there's just nothing you can do against the sub. So, the booster has now decided to push in forward. And honestly, I think this booster is gonna go for a ram. Now, when it comes to a nose-in fight, the booster stands no chance against the Des Moines. I have much more firepower in my front than the booster does, and the booster can't really show a side because I have very good armor piercing. Now what I can do is I can simply go through the nose with my high explosive. I can't use armor piercing unless it shows a bit more angle, but for now I can easily out DPM it. But here's the problem, it's just gonna go for a ram. So I could have tried reversing, which might have been the best choice. I decided to wait until it's close and then hopefully with the acceleration module and like the legendary module I can... Oh, I have a ramming flag.
Repairs complete.
Didn't see that one coming, Wooster, did you? So I was saying, my plan was a bit flawed. I should have probably just reversed. Now I do have the legendary module. I was hoping I could accelerate quickly enough to like let it come in close and then accelerate out of the way in the last moment. But even with the acceleration module, even with the legendary module, the Des Moines just isn't maneuverable enough for that, and the booster is also somewhat nimble ship, right? So dodging a booster just wasn't going to happen. I could have tried to turn away. It would have forced me to show broadside, which if the booster reacted in time would have gotten me citadeled a bit. And if I kite away, I only have one turret in the rear, so could have tried different options. But reversing might have been the best in the end. So I might have been able to avoid that, but hey, I got the ramming flag. Now, where do we go from here? Our left flank has obviously been overrun because our ships failed to actually put up much of a fight. They just sat in rather useless positions and then all got farmed somewhat. But we won this side and we are equal on ships. We are a little bit ahead on points. Of course, our C cap is getting pushed. Meanwhile, we are pushing B. The question is, where do I go from here? The good news is that I have quite a bit of damage left that I can heal if I survive long enough to get through the heals. And currently, I'm not under any threat. Actually, I'm affected by planes. The Richelieu is down. I was almost in a position to shoot it, I guess. I'm not sure if I would have wanted to, mind you. Right now, I'm more focusing on recovering health, and I'm also focusing on dodging those torpedoes that are awkwardly coming this way, because I probably want to turn towards the sea cap. We need to put up a little bit of a defense here, right? There isn't anything here at B that I could engage. I mean, the carrier, but it's running. So if I want to fight something, I need to go towards the sea cap, which is also conveniently where there are islands that I might be able to use if the enemy pushes in far enough. I mean, I don't really have to push into C, right? I can just sit here and then defend. Like, once the enemy has gotten C, they'll either go north to B, or they'll come here to D. So, just sitting into this in this camp and defending it might be a good idea. Now, biggest issue, of course, there are still 2 submarines, and I think those submarines are even divisioned, which means they're going to work together, so I'm gonna be utterly screwed most likely. But hey. No, I can actually increase the speed here just a little bit, because most of the enemies are just too far away for me to do anything anyway. So let's just get a little bit closer. I am spotted, which is why I use a radar, and I found a submarine. Now what the submarine does, it presses a button and dives, and now I can't actually see it anymore, cause, you know, radar doesn't work that way. Can't detect the submarine on periscope depth or deeper. Now, I did get one depth charge into it. The problem, of course, is that submarines have the best turning circle of all ships in the game. So, as a submarine, once you are no longer detected, you can make a very sharp turn and then ensure that the depth charges are, well, not directly hitting at least, or maybe not hitting at all. If you are a submarine that is knowledgeable enough to know that you can actually move your ship, which a lot of submarines aren't, I guess. Now I do have a hydro, which unfortunately doesn't work so well against submarines, now does it? Well, this submarine has been detected, not by my hydro, mind you, that's outside of hydro... Ah, no, wait, no, it was inside of hydro range, never mind. But as you can see, it just has to dive, and hydro doesn't work on diving subs, because it's just silly. So anyway, there are two submarines, right? This one submarine is diving, so I can't hydro it, and the other submarine is doing the spotting, and it's far enough away that I can't do anything. Now, thankfully, this submarine is leaking, so at least I have some indication. I could actually hydro it if I were within 2 kilometers, and I've managed to get within 2 kilometers, but it looks like I got it with the depth charge. Now, that still leaves the second submarine. Now, the second submarine is going to have to dive, and... I did use damage con to avoid the ping. Of course, it could re-ping right now. Fortunately, it doesn't.
Battleship in the distance.
Otherwise, that would be a little bit problematic. Now, there is a Halland around, and the Halland is going to do the spotting for that sub. The sub can't spot for itself while it's... well, actually, it can. It has consumable for that. But... I have managed to get close enough to actually hydro the sub. Now, see, here's the thing. My anti-submarine warfare is now on cooldown. The submarine is surfacing. Right? What's stopping that submarine from shotgunning me? Yeah, I can't shoot it just yet because it's there. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to stay on the broadside of the sub because it can't torp from its broadside. Unfortunately, as we've established, a submarine can turn very easily, so it's going to turn and launch its rear torps. I'm trying to be out of the angle and...
oh. Self-evident.
So, I managed to stay out of the submarine torp angle. I was just fast enough to get it before it could kill me. But I took one from the Halland. Good news is Halland's torps aren't hitting that hard, and
only 5 minutes
I can heal some more damage. Also, at this point in the game, we basically have won. We are at 950 points, they're basically out of ships. The Halland has sailed into my radar, and if there is enough time, I might be able to get a Kraken, but there probably isn't. The Moines dispersion just isn't good enough to... like, if the Halland would stay unmoving, maybe I'd have the time to farm him. But even then, it's doubtful. So, we are at 986 now. Oh, there are some more Halland torps. I don't think I'm gonna dodge them all. Yeah, I'm gonna take one, but it's fine. I survived that. I almost have a damage con ready again, and look at that dispersion. Well, that was a very good Des Moines game, I have to say. And, I mean, the ram, I might have been able to avoid that. I don't know. If I had reversed, maybe. But anyway, I managed to heal up quite a bit after that, and I got 2 subs. Freaking subs. Oh well, I hope you had a laugh while watching this, and I'll see you next time.